Everybody, Chris here, and thanks to Snoop Doge as well for that fun intro. How's everybody doing on a Monday? It was Martin Luther King Day here in the United States, and so stock market wasn't open today, and crypto just kind of going sideways, a little bit up. I mean, everything's in the green a little bit. There's a few that were taking off. As usual, there's always a few, right, that want to do their own thing. We're going to talk more about that in terms of Bitcoin versus altcoins today because of what has been happening post Bitcoin ETF approval. So we're going to talk about all of that. How is everybody doing today? I'm going to drop down here in the corner so we can see the charts nice and big. Dogecoin, just where we were on Friday, 8 cents, just a little over 8 cents. So it's going to be kind of choppy over the weekend. Low volume, not a lot of trading. Everybody just kind of wait and see mode. I don't know. It just feels like it's, just kind of quiet on the crypto trading front. That could turn around this week as we start to get some trading going on, some news and events happening. But today was just really quiet, and we had pretty quiet volume as well. But going forward, there's good things ahead. Doge, Ethereum, some of the other L2s I've been talking about, some other special projects that all have a chance to kind of go off on their own. So we'll be talking about that as well. So, hey, Low Roller, how are you? Welcome, Bulldoge. Welcome. Alexander, good Tag. Appreciate it. Thank you. Just, keeping things going. Low Roller says, you think Bitcoin ETF will have option call or put like stock? You can buy 100 contracts. Crypto people don't talk about Bitcoin ETF options. I don't know. I do not know the answer to that, whether you can trade ETFs like that. I don't think so. I tend to think you can't, but I've never owned an ETF before, so I can't tell you. Hey, Ryan, how are you? Spurs getting bopped? Yeah. Hey, but you got Wemby, though, and Wemby's the future, right? So I think in this offseason, you're going to draft well, and you're probably going to get some free agents coming on board that want to play with Wemby. So I think you're going to be okay, just not this year. But that's good. It's good experience for him. So you can watch that. Celtics are on later. So I'll be watching that. This is the Celtics year. Cowboys got spanked big time. Yes, they did. There's been some good football this weekend. I wasn't watching too much of it because my Patriots were out like at the beginning of the season, so I didn't pay too much attention this year. but there's always next. Just like there's always next for cryptocurrency as well. We are patient. That's what I tweeted out, posted on X. Patience, because that's kind of what we feel. I feel there's just so many that are just, they want that instant gratification. They want things to go up now, and that's just not how cryptocurrency works. So a little patience is in store. So what's going on? Bitcoin faces very limited liquidity. Bitcoin pushed back below 43K, and it's that uphill struggle after Bitcoin lost about a 15% down. The Bitcoin recovery process may need more than a month. So like the whole month of, or into at least February, toward the end of February, maybe we could just see Bitcoin just chopping, maybe dropping. We'll look at some charts for that in a minute as well. But yeah, this is what we've seen, is just choppiness, just total choppiness with Bitcoin. In his latest post on X, popular trader Skew noted that spot markets broadly lack sufficient depth to ensure stability on low timeframes. Low liquidity, there's not much trading going on with Bitcoin. And that is reflected pretty much across all cryptos, but there's always a few that want to go on their own. And that's what I'm talking about, is the excitement of other altcoins now. While Bitcoin's going to do its thing, we can have some other altcoins take off on their own. How about that? The last 4 times we saw this much red volume on the weekly, there was a minimum of 3 to 4 weeks of sideways price action. This environment would be beneficial for Ethereum and alts if the dominance breaks down. So what does that mean? Well, we go to Bitcoin, we go to the 4-hour chart, and we say, look, all this trading we had from Bitcoin, probably from end of November. So we're talking all of this trading here. And then this was a pump up. Both of those were front-running Bitcoin spot ETF approvals. And then we had this dip that happened there. And that dip was like, oh, what if they don't get approved, right? Because there was some FUD going out there, right? Someone had tweeted something like saying, yeah, that those spot ETFs aren't going to be approved. So there was a big dump, but then it just traded right back up because that was found to be not true, right? Somebody said that didn't know. And so we had essentially these 3 pumps. And so we end up with, let me turn that back to red. Let me do this. And then we have all of this trading right there that we had with Bitcoin is all overbought trading. That once the ETFs were approved and we had this drop there, now we're in this sideways action mode. That's kind of what's happening with Bitcoin. And we could see this sort of sideways trading right there, that could continue forward for 3 to 4 weeks. It could be trading like that. So that's where I'm going to start. Yes, we'll also sell the news. A lot of people talking sell the news. However, it wasn't just sell the news. Somebody else was selling too. We'll get to that in just a minute. It's somebody that you guys know, that we all know. One of our buddies was selling Bitcoin. So what does this mean going forward? It means Bitcoin ETF approval sets the stage for an altcoin surge in 2024. So we take that Bitcoin chart that we had here and we say, okay, what is going on with Bitcoin dominance? Well, look what happened. Here was the big run up in Bitcoin dominance up until those spot ETFs were approved. And then Bitcoin dominance has dumped. It has dumped back down. And what has taken its place? Well, a lot of it is Ethereum dominance. So Ethereum starts to spike up because there is anticipation that there will be an Ethereum spot ETF approved. I'm guessing sometime around May, middle of May or so. That's what would be Ethereum. So we have this rotation from Bitcoin to Ethereum happening. So Ethereum dominance goes up, Bitcoin dominance goes down. What did Doge dominance do? Just a little. I mean, it had gone down quite a bit while Bitcoin was on its big run, but it's slowly coming back up. So we'll see. We'll watch that going forward. The ETH BTC chart, of course, also had hit its low. We talked about that in early January, that was probably going to be the low on the ETH BTC trading pair, and that's certainly what happened. So ETH BTC now is going up because we see this divergence happening. And that is all in anticipation of spot ETF approval for ETH. That's what we're looking forward to. And not only that, but you not only have that Ethereum, but you also have altcoins like Arbitrum and Chainlink as key players in the crypto market. Bitcoin ETF approval is poised to influence altcoins with Ethereum showing promising growth prospects. So that's what's happening now, is these other projects now, independent of what Bitcoin does, can start taking off on their own. And we already have that with the whole Pulse chain network, and all of those things are all kind of flying right now. I don't know where that pump is coming from. I'm not in that. I don't get that, but there's a lot of that happening. But I'm with Arbitrum and Optimism. Those are the L2s and ETH, and I've got a bunch of ETH as well. And so I'm going to look for that to take off. Well, Bitcoin's probably just going to be choppy. So with that, we get to the big news. Barry Silbert. Yes, Barry Silbert is in the news again. Our good buddy, wink, wink, nod, nod, deletes his old tweets. Barry's deleting his old tweets off of X Twitter amid a big GBTC sell-off. So this is kind of interesting. Under fire, Digital Currency Group founder Barry Silbert has apparently deleted a raft of his old tweets. So according to his old account, he had originally signed up in October of 2011, but as of now, he doesn't have any of those old tweets before January 5th this year. So all of those old tweets, including that shorting Dogecoin tweet, are now gone. He's deleted them all. However, somebody saved a bunch of them. Predator did. Looks like Barry Silbert deleted all his old tweets. The good news, I have screenshotted some of his greatest hits. I also have screenshots of his Dogecoin tweets. The shorting of Dogecoin, yeah, I saved that. But Predator did these others, like with Sam Bankman-Fried and these others, kind of interesting. So why would Barry Silbert be deleting all his old tweets? Well, it's not clear what prompted, but he's been getting a lot of flack after nearly $580 million in outflows from Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust last week. $580 million in outflows. So why would there be this much money flowing out of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust? That's because, as we showed leading up to the spot ETFs, as all the different companies were like changing their percentage of the fees and how many fees they were going to charge. This ended up being the final chart of fees. And Grayscale's is 1.5%. ARC21 ended up at 0.25%, but they would, for the first 6 months, have a 0% fee. So what happened? Well, you had all of these $580 million worth of Bitcoin in what was the Grayscale Trust, because that was a futures ETF. It already had a ton of money in it. And Barry Silbert had all of the underlying Bitcoin for that. Apparently, he didn't need to, but apparently he did. Digital Currency Group had all of that. So what happened is all of the people that owned that trust, those futures, right? They're saying, well, why should I pay 1.5% when I could just get out of it and I could rebuy back here with ARC at 0% for 6 months? I think I'm going to do that. So you had this mass selling of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust because it was converted. And then people buying into ARC, buying into BlackRock, buying into Van Eck, because they have much lower percentages. And Barry Silbert was selling Bitcoin. So there was a ton of Bitcoin being dumped. That's what happened. So yes, it was sell the news too, and particularly sell the news right when the red started, showing up on the charts. Then there was more selling, but it was started with this. So that's what I think happened. And all cryptos went down with it. Bitcoin just took everything down with it. So what does that mean now as far as price and looking forward? Because that's what we want to talk about now. What's going to happen? Because we had the dump happen. Kind of interesting that Sundays seem to be bad trading days. And that was something that George had mentioned on his Sunday video. And I looked at Dogecoin and I was like, yeah, last Sunday we had this dump. Just yesterday, Dogecoin had been trading up, and I showed that in my video earlier, where be patient now and great outlook on the horizon. Fun video. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But then later on Sunday, there was the sell-off. The Sunday before, there was the sell-off. Sunday before, little sell-off. Sunday before that, sell-off. Sunday before that, sell-off. It's like, why on Sundays? Beats me. George was thinking it was like the Asian market starting to trade on Monday. But why would they be dumping? I don't know. So that's what's going on. So looking forward, what do we have to look forward to? Well, on Doge, potential rebound to 10 cents. We talked about that in my video this morning. Thanks, Jason. Remind everyone to hit the like button. Appreciate it. Get more people coming into the stream. Absolutely love it. Thank you. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Crypto enthusiasts are closely eyeing Dogecoin as it presents a potential rebound opportunity. Analysts suggesting a surge to 10 cents. So this was Ali, mentioned him on the video this morning, but here's what he said. TD Sequential recently presented a buy signal on the Dogecoin 3-day chart. As long as the 7.4 cent support cluster continues to hold, and every time Doge drops below 8 cents, it just gets eaten up. It's getting bought up and trading back up. So we're not seeing dips going back down to 7.5 cents or lower. So as long as that continues to hold, Doge has a great chance of rebounding to 10 cents or higher. And that's because that's where Doge was trading back here just a little over a month ago. He's seeing Doge coming back up to that level. Cool. Key factor in this optimistic prediction, robust support at 7.4 cents. Support cluster remains intact. Doge may be poised for a significant rebound, potentially reaching 10 cents or higher. So that's what we have for Doge. Now, what did I see here? Bullrun said, I sold my ETH long time ago, but bought alts like Say and Sui for the pump, made great gains already. Yep. And you can do that. And because those projects, like the ones that I mentioned earlier, like Arbitrum, Optimism, those are all way up more than 2x. That they're good. They can run on their own based on great things happening with those projects themselves. But if you start buying into these unknown coins, you need to be careful. Half of all coins listed since 2014 are now dead. That's right. Over half are dead that were listed on CoinGecko. So that means there are even more. There's a lot of crypto projects that never even got to the point of getting listed on CoinGecko that are most likely dead anyway. But of the ones that did get listed, over half from 2014. And then in 2021, it's even a huge percentage. It was like 70% of cryptos that came out in 2021 are dead. So if you're going to start chasing unknown cryptos that aren't associated with a project, like I know Bullrun likes to do, and I'm not picking on you, but all I'm saying is take your profit. Get in. If you get in early, watch it go up, and then take your profit. Because that could happen right there. Oh yeah, 2021, there were just so many, because it just became that much easier to launch a crypto project, either on for Uniswap, ERC20 tokens, or on the BSC chain. So that's what it is. So be careful what you go into and get out. Now, right now, as of 2023, any project that started in 2023, which is really bull market, 2022 was the end of the end of the bull and into the bear. But now 2023, there weren't a lot of new projects starting, just not as many, because everyone just kind of burned out. 2024, we're going to see an uptick in new projects, but how many of them are going to die? That we don't know. So get in the right ones. That's all I'm saying. Let's get in the right ones. Now, I only trade on Coinbase and Robinhood. So I'm not getting into these degen projects that aren't listed on major exchanges. So that's just me. It's for me, it's already risky enough investing in cryptocurrency. That's my risk level. A lot of you guys, you degeners out there, have higher risk tolerances, and you're throwing money at stuff that no one's ever heard of. So good luck with that. You can do well, but you can also lose. So again, I'm not playing that game anymore. I did that back in 2021, and I'm not doing that anymore. So just be careful out there. So will the next Bitcoin halving be another hype cycle? Because that's what we're looking forward to, the next big thing for Bitcoin. Now, earlier in my video I was talking about Dogecoin specifically. SpaceX Doge 1 mission still scheduled for mid-February. That has not moved yet. So that's still there. But the big one for Bitcoin, which is the Bitcoin halving, is going to happen before Ethereum spot ETFs, which would most likely be May. So this is going to be April. In April is when the next Bitcoin halving. But will it be another hype cycle. Most likely, it is going to perform exactly like Bitcoin did here. We're going to get a big run up, most likely right before the halving, and then it's going to dump. Most likely that is what's going to happen. People are going to get all excited and we're going to have a dump. And I've been talking about this for a while. The reason I think it's going to dump is because you're going to have miners going out of business, because getting half the Bitcoin rewards is not going to help them. Now, many are saying some of this dump that we saw here was some miners selling Bitcoin because they need cash to buy more ASICs, right? More computer power to prepare for the halving, because they're going to need like twice as much, right, power in order to get the same amount of rewards, because the Bitcoin rewards are going to be cut in half at the halving. But there's going to be some of those mining companies that are just going to go out of business. And that's why I think we're going to see this downfall. Yeah, low roll. I heard George say that too. But I think there's this other thing that's going to happen on the backside, which is going to be Bitcoin dumping, because some other miners are going to mine right up into the halving, and then they're going to cut their losses because they're not going to be able to survive. That's what I think is going to happen. So we're going to see a run up due to the hype into the halving, and then we're going to see a dump. That's what I think is going to happen. We'll talk about that more into early April when that starts getting closer. But right now, that's what I'm saying I think is going to happen. People are going to get excited about the halving, which is great for long-term Bitcoin, right? Because that means the inflation, right? How much Bitcoin is entering the market over the next 4 years is half of what it was for the past 4 years. So that's good, right? That's good. You cut the inflation in half. But there's always a downside. There's always a downside. So will it be another hype cycle? Yes, I think it will. And there could be a sell to news on the backside of the Bitcoin halving. So if you're looking for the next big dip, right now I'm targeting, second week of April or beginning of the third week, whenever that, right after that halving happens, is to have some cash on the side waiting. And so between now and then, what I'm doing is not buying anymore, and I'm just accumulating some cash. Any little extra cash I pick up along the way over the next couple months, I'm just putting aside. Because, I predicted this one, and I predicted the last one. And so now I'm predicting the next one, and I'm going to have money ready for it. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And when we look at that, well, we have the Bitcoin halving clock right now, which is estimated to be about April 17th. And what have we seen? And I tweeted this out. After each halving, there's usually a month or so when it's generally sideways. There could be some up and down, and then the price takes off. And then halving number 2, you'll see there's some dumpage that happened there, and then it took off. That was 2016 into 2017. Halving number 3 happened in 2020, and then what did we have? A little sideways action, a little dumpage, and then it took off into 2021. Well, if something happens 3 times in a row, what do you think is going to happen the 4th time? I'm just saying, I'm following the 4-year cycles until they don't do the same thing. So I will be looking for, the 17th of April, whenever it is, 18th of April, and I'm going to be sitting there with my cash. I'm still holding everything else. I'm not selling. I'm not going to play that game, try and swing trade it or anything like that. I'm just holding everything else, waiting for the inevitable next big bull run after the halving, but getting ready to buy some more on a dip, similar to what we saw here with Bitcoin, with this dip. I mean, this dip, Bitcoin had gone all the way up to 49 and then dropped all the way down to 41. That's a big dip. So I'm going to have some cash ready. That's how I'm going to play it. Just letting you guys know what I'm doing. In the short term, oh, we just had a little dip of Doge, just dipped down to 8 cents right there. Oh well. That's how Doge goes. Yes, AWOL. I do have a full Bitcoin. I am a whole coiner. Yes. And a little more. And a little more. And then we also have a little Bitcoin in this Kriss DCA portfolio. We've got 0.036. 0.036 Bitcoiners is in this. Thanks. Magnus, I'm not joking. I quit my job today. My last day is mid-April. I have all my savings into Doge. Well, good luck. Not necessarily the best move. I hope you have another job lined up. Because it'd be tough to live off of Dogecoin. So unless you have like billions of Dogecoin. Because that would be different if you bought billions of Dogecoin when it was down at 0.0007 or something back in 2014. That'd be different. I don't know how to answer that question yet, Low Roller. We will see next year. We will see next year. My goal right now, or my plan right now, is to sell everything in 2025 except a decent chunk of my Dogecoin. Again, following the 4-year cycles. Because what happens? Comes up, hits an all-time high, and drops. Comes up, hits an all-time high, and drops. Comes up, hits an all-time high, and drops. So I'm just going to play that out again. At some point in 2025, I'm going to sell everything, except I'm going to sell all my Doge and see what happens from there. If it looks to me like Bitcoin is kind of going to go on some extended cycle and doesn't look like it's going to sell for any reason, I may hold on to it. But right now, the goal is to sell it. That's my plan. That's my plan. Not telling you guys what to do, but that's my plan. Bitcoin bull run starts again in October. I think it's going to be sooner than that. I think it's going to be the summer. Taking big risks, that's how you make big money. Yep, that is true. That is true. You can't build wealth if you don't have wealth to begin with, unless you take risks. That's just the way it is. You can make decent money, right? You put $10,000 into something, right? And you come out with 20 or 30, maybe 40. That's what we're doing with this portfolio. I put 10,000 in, it's just under 14K now. This can grow to like 30 or 40K, right? But is that life-changing wealth? I mean, it might be for somebody in a different economic condition and location, right? But for the most part, that's not going to build wealth. Unless you just take huge risks. Like SHIB, when SHIB started, right? You start putting some money into some of those things because you don't know. But I'm not doing that anymore because I already have built up a lot of capital, let's say, right? And I'm a little older than most of you guys, so I have a different financial situation. But I have gone in all in on this next crypto bull run. Just believing in the 4-year cycle. I'm following this. If this doesn't happen to me, well, the only thing that'll hurt me is if for some reason crypto just does a huge nosedive in 2024 into 2025. But there's nothing that looks like is going to cause that to happen at all. So that rally is what I'm counting on. And I've got a lot riding on it. So we will see. We will see. Jason just bought some more. 1,200 Doge. Nice. That is the way. That is the way. Predictions for Doge this cycle. So I did a price prediction video on January 1st. So Julian, go watch that. I laid it all out. What I think is going to happen with Doge. So bull runs, you're going to take your gains and you're going to rotate them into Bitcoin. Good strategy, I think. Get out of the riskier ones, count your gains, and then ride Bitcoin. That's pretty good. Don't buy I would say just any meme coin. If you know someone, right, and you get in early, then yeah, but like you said before, right, put like 1% in, right? Take some of that and throw that at some early launch memes because you don't know which ones are going to go crazy. You don't know. But then you also need to realize when to sell. And you might not hit the top. Most likely you won't. And you might get out too early and it just keeps on going. That can happen. But any profit is good profit. And you just have to look at it that way, I think. Your goal is much higher than to make a few millions. Right? Good luck, Bull. Good luck. I hope you do it. I hope you do it. There's a lot of millionaires out there, multi-millionaires, that have made that money just through crypto. And that's nice. I still think we're early. I still think we're very early on this, and crypto will just keep growing. So we will watch that. You can sell 10% your portfolio each time it reaches all-time highs. You can, except you don't know when the all-time highs are. That's the thing, right? We get into late 2024 and into 2025, like you don't know. I mean, look what happened here in early 2021. Bitcoin went up to 64K right there, and then it dropped. And people were wondering, did we miss out on that full bull run that people were predicting at that time? Bitcoin was going to go to 100K. But then in the fall, Bitcoin came back up and went up to 69K before we entered the bear market. So you don't know. You don't know. Hopefully there is a big bull market and we're all sitting on some good profits. Then you can start skimming. That's what I'm going to do. Let's skim. At different levels, I'll just start taking a little off the table. 10% here, 10% there. If it keeps going up, right, start taking some bigger chunks off. So that's my plan. That's what I'm doing. Jason, it looks like your purchase is looking good now. We're up to 8.09. So you're already in profit with your next 1,000 Doge. Good for you. Good for you. Again, too many people I see it in the comments. People are just like upset, right? Doge isn't going anywhere. it's dumb, it's dead. And it's not. It's still top 10 cryptocurrency. Doge is holding its own just fine. Yeah, it did not have as big a gains in 2023 as a lot of other cryptocurrencies. That is true. But we know how Doge trades. It needs a big catalyst. It needs Elon buying Twitter, right? It needs what's going to be next, right? Is the SpaceX Doge 1 mission going to be a big deal? It might be. And if it is, Dogecoin will outperform Bitcoin in February, guaranteed. So, yeah. Yeah, Jason, Elon. And then X Twitter. It's like, and that's what I'm going to be talking about this week. A lot of my videos are going to be centered around that. We're going to be talking SpaceX, Doge 1 mission, which I did a video over the weekend on. I'll be talking more about that. But then looking forward ahead to X payments. So you'll be seeing those videos this week. We'll be concentrating on that. And Wednesday, we'll have a whole live stream. It's going to be about that. X payments, Dogecoin as a currency. That's the exciting thing coming forward. And so if the price of Doge is going to stay here around 8 cents for a number of months, that could happen. But next month, it could go up to 10 or 12 cents very easily, based on what happens with Doge 1. We could see that. So better to be in now. 5 o'clock, Julian. 5 o'clock East Coast time. I'm in Boston, East Coast of the United States. And so 5 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, every week. That's when I'm on. And then I fill in extra live streams when there's a big event. I'll be doing the SpaceX launch, the Doge 1 mission launch. I'll be doing that live. I did the ULA launch. It was 2 o'clock in the morning my time, but I was here live. Some of you were here. It's unfortunate what happened to Astrobotics, Peregrine lander. Didn't make it to the moon, so we lost that Dogecoin. That was tough. That makes the Doge 1 mission even bigger. Even bigger. So, so Julian, watch my video from Saturday on that one, because I talked about Doge 1. So I put all of this out there. So maybe you're new to my channel, but I put it all out there. Hey, Curtis, how are you? Holding so I can start accepting Doge for payment. Long-term capital gains is cheaper than income tax. That is true, because if you're going to play this game about buying and selling, not holding at least for a year, in the United States, it's a year between short-term and long-term. In some countries, like I know you guys in Germany, after you hold for a year, you don't pay any taxes on the gains. How about that? You don't pay any taxes. So it's definitely worth it to hold for a year before you think of selling. So again, that's why I'm not selling before the Bitcoin halving, right? Thinking that, right, it's going to go down and I'm going to buy in lower. I would need to make at least a 15 to 20% gain between essentially 37% and 15%. You know, that kind of range on how much you pay between your federal taxes and your state taxes on those crypto gains. It's like, why pay that? Why pay the 37% overall tax? When you hold for a year, it's only 15. That's a lot. That's real money. That's 15 to 20%. You would have to have guaranteed the price is going to drop by at least 20% to buy back in at a lower price to be sure that you have gained more than you would have gained if you'd held and gone from a short-term to a long-term capital gains tax position. And I know, you hear Kriss talking about taxes again, but it's real, guys. If you're doing all the swing trading and all that money that you're making, a third of it is gone in taxes. A third of it is gone. You got to remember that. So be careful there. Thanks for subscribing, Julian. Appreciate it. Anybody else who haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are growing this channel as Dogecoin grows back. But I talk about other crypto stuff too, and I keep it real. So, rest is spaghetti. Yeah. Move my Doge to Germany. Maybe I'll tag log as well. Yeah, that's just how it is. There are other countries as well. There are some that don't pay taxes at all on cryptocurrency gains. So we will see. Don't forget, a lot of poor countries have access in smartphones. Chance to invest in crypto like Doge could be life-changing wealth for them, right? And a number of them also have been playing like Axie Infinity. They were playing it back in 21 into 22, right? And just taking those small little gains, right? But to them, that was real money. That was real money for them. But they had to put up money first in order to play. But there were a lot of people who were making a living at that time playing that game. To them, it was like a salary for them and their family. Unfortunately, the price of that token just started dropping, and I hope they got out when they did and were taking gains along the way. Because if you're just holding on to those tokens when the token dropped in price, you lost out. And a lot of people did lose out on that. That's the risk you take. Hi, Denise. I'm new to this game. When you dollar cost average and then sell, how do you know which one's sold? There's two ways to do it. The easiest way is first in, first out. So I have a spreadsheet. Oh, you guys go, Kriss and his spreadsheets again. Yes, I have my spreadsheets. Let's see where it is. I'll just go in here. So I'll go here. So these are the purchases of all of the cryptos that are held in this ChrissPax DCA portfolio. Okay? They're all in this spreadsheet. And so I have logged each purchase price. So the first Doge we bought here was on July 14th at 0.069 price. And we bought 477. So if I sell, let's say 2,000 Dogecoin, it'll be these first 2,000 that comes out of here. Those first four rows right there, which is like 2001 coins. That will be, it'll be the capital gains on the average price of those four purchases. I have all of my cryptocurrency purchases logged on spreadsheets. That's just how I do it. And I'm just an anal spreadsheet guy. But for me, it's how I keep track of everything because, you know, a year or two after, you're not going to remember. And you can't rely on the exchanges to track it all for you because they don't give you all of that detailed information at the end of the year. Robinhood this year is not going to give you all the detail. They're just going to sum it all up. And when they sum it all up, you don't know which transaction is which. So you need to do your own calculation to figure out your gains and losses. And you can only do that if you have your purchases logged somewhere. So then when you sell, you can come over and you can say, you know, I'm going to sell at 8 cents, right? So I would go in here and I would say, you know, like 0.08, right? And then I'd be able to calculate based on those four purchases, what my percent gain was and what my profit was based on that sale. And I would log it right here. And when I log it, what I usually do is I change that to green, right? Because I logged it, whatever that price was. And then I take the ones that I sold and I gray them out. And I change it to a gray. So I know those are gone, sold them, made my profit. And now the ones I'm holding are all of these. That's how I do it. And if it doesn't work out exactly and there's a little left over, all I have to do is insert a row and then put in here what's left of that last purchase. Because I think it ended up being like 1.2 Dogecoin left. And I just stick it in there. So that's how I do it. And I did a whole live stream on nothing but taxes, if you guys remember that fun live stream I did. It's all about taxes. Yeah, Adam says it here, right? Watch Kriss's tax live stream. Lots of good advice. Appreciate it. You remembered. Bull Run says, gonna owe a lot for 2023, made a lot of money. Yep, and most of it was probably short-term. So you're gonna have short-term capital gains. And in that live stream, I showed you which forms you have to fill out for the United States, which ends up going into your whatever schedule it is that you need to add on, right? So, yep. NFTs are going to come back too, low roller. I believe that too. Yep. But I don't think it's going to be just art. They're talking about like tokenization of tickets and like real stuff beyond just buying like crypto kitties or stuff like that. Just real applications. And that's why I think like Algorand is going to do well and other blockchains that are they're going to be hosting real NFTs for real world use and not just Bored Apes and crypto kitties. Yeah, tickets and stuff. Yep. I think that's the next big thing. Now, will that happen in 2024? You know, things are progressing so fast, that wouldn't surprise me if we saw that. Another reason why some are calling this next bull run a super cycle that will just continue and isn't going to go right into a bear market. I don't believe that yet. Again, I believe in the 4-year cycles until they're not. So if this rally in 2024 into 2025 just keeps going on after that, and I've sold out, well, I made profit, right? Can't complain about that. And maybe I miss out on like Bitcoin going, you know, from 100K to 400K or something, and there's no bear market. That could happen. We don't know. But these ETFs may change the way Bitcoin trades, and we might not have one of these, you know, year-long bear markets like we've had the last 3 cycles. That could be. But until that happens, I'm trading on the 4-year cycle. And that in 2025, at some point in time, I'm going to be selling, and I'm not going to be holding all my crypto through another bear market. I'm not going to do it. So, but that's just me. Yeah, we don't know with the ETFs. But again, once people buy into the ETFs and the BlackRocks and the ARKs and VanEck and all them have the underlying Bitcoin in their wallets, they only have to buy more Bitcoin whenever more people are buying into ETFs, which could continue on in what would normally be a bear market year, but there could be other things going on that could offset it. So bull run believes in the super cycle. Could be. Could be. We don't know. But right now, again, I'm betting this. I'm not betting. I'm trading this, right? I'm holding for this. Again, may buy some more right after the halving. I'm going to have some cash ready right after the halving to buy in, depending on what kind of drop there may be. And if there isn't much of a drop, that's okay, because we have this to look forward to. So that's the message for today. And again, I think, like I said earlier, I think altcoins are going to perform better than Bitcoin. We've seen in the past. And again, if we go to the Bitcoin dominance and we zoom out on the Bitcoin dominance, let's go to the weekly. We zoom out. Look what happened in 2021. Bitcoin was up here at 70% dominance. And look at what happened with the altcoin season in 2021. Altcoins far outperformed Bitcoin, and Bitcoin dominance tumbled all the way down to 40%. Now we're sitting here at like 50% Bitcoin dominance. That's all it went up to. It didn't come back up to 70% or even 60% like many were calling for, like Ben Cowan, right? He was convinced Bitcoin was going up to 60% Bitcoin dominance because that's where it was before the altcoins took off in 2021. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. So this could drop big time while those different altcoins, particularly the blockchains that are going to have these real world uses, people are going to be buying them. You're going to have not only Say, but you're going to have Algorand taking off. You're going to have Solana going higher, Cardano going higher. And then you're going to have these L2s. You're going to have Matic. You're going to have Arbitrum. You're going to have Optimism. Because people are actually going to be building stuff on them. Memes will be memes. You'll have the meme coins doing crazy things. Doge will do its thing when it does. Sheep will probably go on a run at some point in time. And who knows, Pepe, Bonk, and then whatever the next one is that we don't even know yet. Something's going to go crazy and is going to help this. But this was Doge. A lot of this drop in Bitcoin dominance, that was all when Doge was taking off in April into May. That whole thing right there, a lot of that was because of Doge. But we had others like VeChain and other that were just going crazy. Those people were just buying altcoins. So we could see that happening again. So that was the message for today's stream. That's what I think we're going to be seeing going forward. For now, it's just patience, buying on the dips. Hey, there's the dancing Doge. Buying on the dips. Again, every time we see Doge drop below 8 cents, it gets bought right back up again and again and again. Unless there's some big like black swan thing, that's support for Doge right now. Yeah, it might go down to 7.95, maybe 7.90, maybe 7.7 again. It'll just come right back up unless there's some big drop. So you will never get rich in crypto, only get rich investing on altcoins. At this point in Bitcoin, right, you probably won't get rich in Bitcoin unless you're already rich, right? And then you can get richer. But it's the altcoins that have the better percentage for those higher gains, the 5x, 10x, 50x. The altcoins that do that. Bitcoin's not going to do that. Bitcoin's now more the safer crypto investment, which you can do well on. And I think it's good to have some Bitcoin as part of your portfolio, particularly when things start going down. Bitcoin does not go down as high of a percentage as the altcoins. And we've seen that time and time again. So you hedge a little bit. Always good to have some Bitcoin in your portfolio. But if you want to go all altcoin, and I know some of you might be just all Doge, and that's all you have, you've got patience though, because it's been a long year. And Doge isn't much higher now than it was a year ago. Just waiting. Just waiting. That's how it is. Okay, gang. That's what we got for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Got a video coming out tomorrow. We'll be live again on Wednesday. And we're going to be talking about X payments. That's going to be a good one. So stay tuned for that. And until then, hope you're well. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed. Not a joke anymore. All-time 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you
didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.